blood sugar like someone who is living on soda. How does this come about? There is a reason. And the reason is because of a hormone that we call 11-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase 1. Stay with me to the end of this video so that you understand your own body better, and you understand how cortisol and glucose are related. And this comes as a result of chronic stress. So you'll be able to understand this in a very good way that you will not get in the normal 15 minutes doctor's visit. It is about 9 p.m. You haven't touched anything sweet today, but you have been worried about the rent. Your boss has been on your neck for those assignments that you need to finish, and you have not had a chance to sleep nicely. So what happens right now, your body is in a chain reaction, and this starts in your brain. There's an organ we call the hypothalamus. It acts on the hypothalamus, which acts on the pituitary gland, and then the pituitary gland acts on the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is an organ which is small on top of the kidney, and it is the one that produces the hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is produced in the body in response to stressful situation. In normal circumstances, there is the normal cortisol circulation in your body, and usually your cortisol levels rise from the morning, and then the levels keep going down as the day progresses. This is a hormone that is generally supposed to help you in your metabolism, and so the normal surges are expected to be high in the morning, and that's why you have high energy capacity to do high output work early in the morning. But now when stress sets in and different mechanism comes in, and this puts you in a fight or flight mode. So when the cortisol levels rises out of stress situation, this cortisol is secreted, it goes to the liver, and then it starts working on the liver, and the liver starts turning glycogen into sugar to prepare you for fight or flight. And this spikes your sugar like someone who has eaten a full plate of chips or who has taken a soda. So the chain reaction starts in the hypothalamus, then to the pituitary, and then the adrenal gland. So your brain perceives stress, and then it signals your pituitary gland. The pituitary gland will be signaled by a gland we call the hypothalamus, which releases a hormone we call the cortical releasing hormone, which stimulates the pituitary. And the pituitary again is a small gland in the brain that controls most of the hormones in the body, and the pituitary produces a hormone, adrenocorticosteroid hormone, or ACTH, and this ACTH is the one that stimulates now the adrenal gland to produce cortisol. And now this will release cortisol, and in this happens in a real emergency to prepare you for energy to escape danger. Human beings have evolved from being hunters and gatherers, where you lived in danger in the forest, and so at every time you are on high alert of your life being threatened. And so these mechanisms, if there was a glow of a dangerous animal like a tiger, a lion, or whatever thing that you are fearing in the forest, then this escape mechanism was there. But now our lives have changed, but these hormonal mechanisms have not changed. Your rent is going to be consistently with you, and the stress is in your head. Your work is going to be consistently with you, and so this is working against you full time. So you have an extended period of high cortisol levels, and this goes from month to month, and the cascade never switches off. So what happens? Cortisol attacks blood sugar from different directions at once. So we will look at how does cortisol make your blood sugar to go up. One, it pushes the liver to keep manufacturing sugar through a process we call gluconeogenesis. That is manufacture of more glucose from other tissues. It will take a molecule we call glycogen, which is stored in the liver. It also blocks conversion of glucose into glycogen from muscles, and even prevents fat from absorbing sugar. So the net effect, it increases your capacity to increase the production of glucose from other sources. Then it suppresses the pancreas to produce less insulin. So this is to enable the body to have more glucose for the fight or flight. And the three separately attack each other to increase your body blood glucose. And so persistent cortisol levels works on the liver, works on muscles, works on fat, suppresses the pancreas, and your sugar goes up. So then what happens? If this persistently continues, then you have the belly fat, which is one of the big responders to cortisol. The deep belly fat contains an enzyme we call 11 beta oxidehydrogenase, which converts into the inactive form of cortisol into the active form right inside the fat cell. And your belly fat can be marinating into cortisol several times higher than what it shows up on a blood test. So your cortisol stimulates the fat cells, and they convert the active form of cortisol so that your body makes more sugar. So it is this vicious circle that you have cortisol working on the liver, working on the pancreas, working on the visceral fat, and this makes the cortisol more active, and you have more cortisol. Then cortisol pushes more visceral fat from more sugar that is producing, and then this leads to more inflammation. And this inflammation then pushes the hypothalamus that your body needs sugar because of the stress, and the whole cycle continues in a cascade. So the stress does not just sit in your mind, it builds a factory in your body. So what happens then is you have more stress, the worse your blood sugar control will become, because it compounds. The muscle tissue acts as a buffer more to help you try to control the sugar, but it is not able to contain all the sugar that is produced. And this is so especially when you are under stress. So again, because of that process of making more sugar, then muscles break down, and then you have less muscle mass. So because of muscle mass loss, then you have more poor capacity to make more, to absorb more sugar from with your muscles, and so you end up having less capacity to absorb glucose, and so your glucose gets up, and your response to insulin, because of the excess fat that is getting stored, it becomes worse, and you get insulin resistance. With insulin resistance, then your response to glucose becomes poorer, because your fat stores now are overflowing. An overflow of the fat, and then your body is not able to get more glucose, and so the fat cells are the first place of insulin resistance, then this makes the pancreas to produce more insulin, but the body will not respond as efficiently as it should because it's already overloaded. So track your stress like you track your food. It is a metabolic risk factor. Then protect your sleep, because if you don't sleep adequately, then your cortisol goes high. Poor sleep raises the next day's cortisol, and this is even the stress sets in. Walking daily. This has been shown to help improve your body consumption of glucose even when you have no insulin, and this helps to lower the circulating level of cortisol, and this will help muscles absorb glucose. Then resistance training. Why resistance training? Because resistance training helps you build muscle. Once you build muscle, then this becomes a sugar absorbing organ that helps you manage glucose in a better way. Then track your waist circumference, because your waist circumference is so important, more than all the other factors like BMI and even the lipid profile, because it shows where you are accumulating fat. And this is a very simple test. You can do it for yourself, and you don't need any complicated equipment. A simple tape measure can do this for you. So visceral fat is the active amplifier of how much fat you have. Then to have reset mechanism to help lower your stress, and this could be things like slow breath, exercise itself, prayer, and gratitude. These are ways that can help you lower your cortisol levels and also help you manage your glucose level. So your blood sugar is not just about what is on your plate. It is also about the hormonal chain reaction, and you have seen what stress does to your hypothalamus, up to your adrenals, and the way the cortisol now comes into play, affecting how the liver synthesizes glucose, how muscles are affected in their absorption of glucose, and also the visceral fat. So when this happens, then the belly fat amplifies, and this damage sustains itself. So chronic stress can mimic high sugar diet inside your bloodstream through those three separate mechanisms. And now you know why your body whispers before it screams. So if you have been eating right, but you are still feeling foggy or you are stuck, check it, your stress, measure your waist circumference, and it is not just the snacks, but it is that cortisol glucose mechanism. So you know how it happens. So if this video has been of help to you, comment glucose, and I will send you my life stress and blood sugar self-check so that you know where you are. Prevention is not expensive. It is the neglect that is very expensive. Thank you for watching. I see you in the next video. And if this video has touched you, please subscribe to the Overall Health YouTube channel for more content that will help you understand metabolic health. Thank you for watching.